Nobody expected Rudy Gobert to be that guy. In a series stacked with star power LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Anthony Edwards, it wasn't the flashy scorer or the floor general who took over the game. It was Rudy, the player so often dismissed by media narratives, the so-called liability in small ball matchups. The one critics said would be played off the floor. Well, not only did Rudy Gobert stay on the floor, he owned it. And in a hostile Staples Center, under the pressure of a winner-go-home game, it was him who closed the door on the Lakers' season. This wasn't just a solid performance. It was a statement, a methodical takedown, a defensive masterclass. And it all started with one decision: to let Rudy feast. The Lakers entered this game with a clear plan. They were sticking to their small ball identity. That meant pulling bigs away from the paint, spacing the floor, and forcing Gobert into uncomfortable territory. In the first 4 games, this had worked to some extent. Rudy's offensive touches were limited, his minutes staggered. It looked like the usual story: stretch the floor, minimize the big man. But in Game 5, everything changed. From the opening possession, it was clear Minnesota had flipped the script. They didn't just tolerate Rudy on offense, they built their entire attack around him. The Wolves made it simple, no overcomplication. Rudy operated out of the dunker spot, that space just off the baseline, right behind the defense's attention. Every time Anthony Edwards or Julius Randle initiated a drive, Rudy was lurking, waiting for second-chance openings. And the Lakers, they had no answers. Every rotation was too slow. Every contest came too late. Gobert wasn't just grabbing rebounds, he was owning the glass. Possession after possession, he would seal off defenders, box out with perfect timing, and convert with either a dunk, a putback, or free throws. This is where his underrated basketball IQ came into play. People think of Rudy as just size and length, but he reads space brilliantly. He knows exactly where to stand when the drive comes. He knows when to flash to the middle, when to hold his position, and when to seal off defenders. One play summed it up. As LeBron overhelped on a drive, Rudy quietly moved into the lane, caught the dump-off pass, and finished with ease. There wasn't even a challenge, and it kept happening, again and again. And here's the thing, the Timberwolves couldn't hit anything from 3. We're talking historically bad shooting. They launched 47 threes and made just 7. That's under 15%. That should have sunk them. But it didn't, because Rudy completely flipped the math. 9 offensive rebounds. That's more than the Lakers had as a team. And it wasn't just Rudy. His relentless pursuit of the ball opened up lanes for teammates too. Suddenly, Jaden McDaniels was flying in for boards. Randle was sneaking into space. Minnesota ended up with 18 second-chance opportunities, almost all of them created by the gravity of one man. The Lakers tried everything. Zone defense, traps, help schemes, nothing worked. Gobert punished every coverage. In zone, the Wolves simply flashed someone to the middle, collapsed the defense, and let Rudy work along the baseline. In man, he'd slip behind the help, position himself perfectly, and make them pay. Every time LA tried to blitz Edwards or Doncic, Rudy became the release valve. And the moment he touched the ball, the defense collapsed. He was commanding attention in a way he simply hadn't in the earlier games, and the result was pure dominance. But Gobert didn't just dominate on offense. His defense, as usual, told the bigger story. For years, people have questioned whether he could defend in space, whether he could guard smaller lineups, and year after year, those questions get answered, not with flash, but with impact. In Game 5, it was obvious the Lakers were actively avoiding him. They didn't want the smoke. Even when Rudy was switched onto guards, Luka, LeBron, Reeves, they hesitated. Luka dribbled in place. LeBron settled for deep jumpers. Reeves got into the paint once, and Rudy swallowed the shot at the rim. The numbers don't lie. On 20 isolations where Rudy was the primary defender, the Lakers scored just 16 points. That's 0.8 points per possession, well below league average. Even when the Lakers tried to draw him out, Minnesota had a counter. The Wolves ran perfect rotations. On drives, Rudy would slide over, the wing would rotate to the corner, and suddenly the Lakers were forced into contested, above-the-break threes instead of high-efficiency looks. When LeBron tried to exploit the switch, Rudy sat back in drop coverage, baiting the jumper. When Luka ran pick and pop, Rudy mixed it up, sometimes dropping, sometimes switching, sometimes hedging and recovering. Every adjustment worked. Every gamble paid off. And then there was the Vando factor. Jarred Vanderbilt's presence gave Gobert even more room to operate. With Vando being a complete non-threat on offense, Rudy could completely ignore him. That gave him the green light to live in the paint. He overcommitted. He clogged a lane. And the Lakers couldn't score inside. In the 14 minutes Rudy and Vando shared the floor, LA attempted just 3 shots at the rim. That's unheard of. Their offensive rating dropped to 89.7, a number that would make even